Hello, everyone, and welcome to PAXP episode 17. This is a milestone episode because, well, actually, it's not, is it, Victor?
Yeah, I was gonna say milestone for what?
17 is a lucky number somewhere, right? Probably in Japan, where everything's lucky.
It's not even like a even number or like every five. I don't know.
Here's why. Here's why it's a milestone. It's because we have a ton of news, some awesome rumors, some movies made from video games, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
So
all kinds of stuff.
Why don't we start there? So the very first thing I want to talk about is the thing I'm most excited for, and it's a Splinter Cell rumor.
Like for a movie?
No, for a game.
Oh, so a new Splinter Cell.
A new Splinter Cell, and going back, there's been Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Chaos Theory, Conviction, Double Agent,
there's been a
Blacklist.
lot.
Yeah, there's been six of them, right?
And they've all been pretty good.
They've all been. I would say they've all been from really good to incredible. For instance, Chaos Theory is by some accounts rated as the best game on the original Xbox. And
That's the very first one, right?
That's the third one.
Oh, the third one.
The first one was just called Splinter Cell. The second one was Pandora Tomorrow, and the third was Chaos Theory. But this is the same system where Halo came out, the original Halo, and Chaos Theory, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, in many cases rates above that.
I think because when that game came out, it kind of pushed the limits of what a game could do, because it offered such variety and complexity with the stealth, like his utilities that Sam Fisher could use at his disposal, like all those stealth aspects, and I just kind of a groundbreaking game because it was aside from your typical shooter first person game or something like that.
Yeah, and if anybody goes back and looks, that game still, by today's standards, looks really freaking good.
Chaos Theory or the first one?
Yeah, Chaos Theory.
Yeah.
Chaos Theory. The first one was groundbreaking because it was like Metal Gear Solid.
That's the one I was
right?
kind of referring to. But yeah.
Exactly, but if Metal Gear Solid was based in the real world, like, it wasn't like where you were fighting bisexual vampires. You didn't have a sidekick who was like in love with his sister. None of that, right? You didn't have to fight like these wonky bosses on rollerblades.
Damn right.
Yeah, it was crazy. But in Splinter Cell, it was real. Basically, what you could be seeing in the news, but if you were the agent doing the stuff that's happened in the background of that news story, right? It was really, really well done. And whereas I think Metal Gear Solid's gameplay is kind of like wait and attack, Splinter Cell's was more like hunt and strike from the shadows gameplay.
Absolutely.
You had agree. Way less. You didn't have as much leeway in mistakes, so you were really like this patient agent. It really put you in the shoes of what a special agent would be like in real life. Mm-hmm. And so this rumor comes from Amazon Canada, where they posted just this blank page, nothing on it at all, but this blank page just read Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell 2018. This year.
What? No way.
This year.
Right. Maybe it'll be announced. Yeah.
Here's
that's ambitious. That's ambitious, especially considering we haven't heard anything about it.
Well, here's why it could be a reality. Is because Ubisoft, who has done Splinter Cell in the past, right, and holds the license, they don't really have anything coming out in the wintertime, right? They have Far Cry 5 coming out in the next week or so, the next 2 weeks, whatever, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
that is really all they've announced.
Yeah,
right?
and with games, game companies kind of taking this approach of announcing games much closer to release, I think this seems very legitimate.
Are they taking a step back from Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, they said that they wanna prolong the life of Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins.
You know what's funny though? As amazing as Origins is, you don't really hear much about it anymore.
Yeah. It was released. There was some hype, but not too much, and then that's pretty much all you heard about it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any pre-hype like before. I mean, I think a lot of people were anticipating it and curious about it, but I don't think there was a big hype because
Yeah.
they just thought it would be the same repeat model of what they've done in the past. But visually, I think they took it to a new level, and but I still think it kind of died down quicker than a lot of people thought once they were experiencing the game. They're like, oh, this game is amazing, but it still didn't have a long life, I think.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm sure there are people out there that appreciate it still.
oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure Ubisoft, they'll take the same approach to it as they did with Rainbow Six or they did with For Honor, where they kind of support it for a long period of time and actually grow the user base versus then let it die out.
Well, Rainbow Six is really is kind of turning into a big cash cow train for them currently with how it's growing.
Absolutely. And they're trying to do the same thing with For Honor.
Mm-hmm.
But next up on the rumor mill, Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Well, this isn't a rumor. This has been announced.
This has been announced, but here's the thing. So there was a countdown released, right,
Mm-hmm.
for some information. The funny thing is, in this countdown, when people looked at the source code behind the countdown, they found out in the source code that there's a release date in it of September 14th this year. Not only that, but it will also be the final game in the origin story. So the young Laura, the one before the breast implants.
But the one before Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, the final chapter in the pre-surgery Laura.
That's funny.
So September 14th, look for Tomb Raider, probably going to come out. And it makes sense because, obviously we have Red Dead Redemption coming out later that year, or this year. So it's got all the big games are trying to come out, before Red Dead does. Speaking of which, Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Have you seen the preview for this?
No.
The teaser.
No,
the teaser.
no.
So,
I saw something, but they said it was a compilation of like previous Black Ops games.
I don't know what the hell it was. If that makes a lot of sense because when I watched it twice, and when I watched it, I was wholly underwhelmed, completely.
Yeah. Well,
It
yeah.
It didn't look like anything special. It didn't look like anything good. It just said, Black Ops 4, whatever. Anyway,
when I read through the comments of what I saw of the Black Ops, the new Black Ops advertisement, a lot of people were like, "Great, going back to jump packs and blah 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 blah," and everybody was complaining like, "Just stick to modern combat or more modern age of combat," and that's kind of how I felt with the the previous Black Ops games. I don't like the whole jetpacking thing,
well,
but a lot of people do. I don't care.
Of the past three was futuristic, right? But the two before that were not. They were slightly earlier modern to modern, right? Where they were just like it was like Vietnam era, then it just past the Vietnam era or whatever into the 90s, and I think that's about it. But the third one did go in the future. Part 4, we're not sure what we'll see from that. But here's the big thing: is it comes out October 12th. And you know why this is a big day? It's because traditionally Call of Duty's always been November. Always been November. Again and again and again. But they're moving the game up a little bit, and it's probably because even Call of Duty is afraid of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh. So when was remind me when Red Dead Redemption 2 was supposed to be announced or released?
It's supposed to be released. Shoot, I don't have that in front of me. God, hang on.
So they moved the new Black Ops to come out ahead of Red Dead 2?
Yeah, ahead of Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because they're afraid.
Yeah,
they wouldn't say it, right?
Yeah, they're probably afraid it'll reduce their sales, and a lot of people won't bother buying their game. And obviously, Red Dead is anticipated to be a game that's going to have longevity to it.
Yeah, October 23rd. That's when Red Dead 2 comes out.
Yeah, and Black Ops was originally October 12th.
Black Ops, all the Call of Duties in the past have been November.
Okay.
It would have been after.
Okay, so they're moving it essentially 10 days before Red Dead 2.
Yeah. So we can get capitalize on 2 weeks of sales before that.
I mean, it's smart on their part because they're trying to get ahead of it, and hopefully people will be enticed to buy their game over Red Dead
Yeah.
2. And maybe it'll work, because maybe some gamers are impatient. They're like, I want a new game, and they just think, I want to get the first one that's available to me, and that's going to be Black Ops 2. But they're so different. Like, you would think
Yeah,
that the people who want to play Red Dead 2 like it because of the kind of game it is, and even if Black Ops comes out first, they'll still pass over that and wait the extra 10 days for Red Dead 2.
Yeah, they're hoping to get those overlap players, right? The ones that are that would want both. Like, like I don't want to say the hardcore gamers, because the hardcore gamers, it's not necessarily the hardcore gamers that play Call of Duty and Black Ops. It's more the casual base, right? Because everybody plays Call of Duty and everybody plays Rockstar games that does gaming. And even though they're very, very different, if you have a high school student that's doing it's working at McDonald's making $8 an hour or whatever, and he can only afford one game, which game would he get? Well, the odds are that he would get this massive 100+ hour game over a game that has a single player campaign of 6 hours.
Yeah. We'll see.
But,
I mean, it's a good strategy, and I'm not surprised that they did it.
Here's the thing, though. This is not the only news that's come out of Activision, though.
Oh, well, what else?
Because in a call with investors, Activision has said that they are aware of the Battle Royale gaming model.
Yeah.
And that they are fast to follow, or faster to follow than others.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Well, I think
to me says... Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, you go ahead.
Please continue, interrupter of interruptions.
Interrupter of interruptions. Well, I think Call of Duty development is so quick to pick up a new model, because they have such a strong foundation and kind of a default of assets that they can just tweak to add something new to it. So I think it's easy for them to implement a battle royale if they wanted to.
Especially with their gaming style, right? Because their gaming style is already like combat, and they have the combat down, right? They have the shooting down, they have the multiplayer down in general, right? So why not adopt the same model as part of their game mode? It could be zombies, it could be co-op, it could be battle royale, and it could be the campaign. I mean, this could be a game that catches everything. A catch-all, if you will. Oh my god, that was so gay.
Oh my god, you're
I'm sorry.
the bad joker of bad jokes.
I know. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so anyway, with that said, where do you think this leaves the next Battlefield? That's supposed to be staged in World War II, but as far as the release date goes...
Oh wait, there's some rumors on that?
There's not rumors. The next Battlefield game is confirmed. It was confirmed by EA at their investor call, right? Their shareholders call, that there'll be a new Battlefield this year. But I wonder when it will release, right? Because Battlefield's been neck and neck with Call of Duty, right? They've been like just before it usually, and I wonder what this means for Battlefield, with Red Dead Redemption coming out at the end of October and Call of Duty coming out closer to the beginning, or I should say mid-October. Where does Battlefield fall in? Does it go in the beginning of October? Does it go into September? Or will it fall in between both of them?
I think it's going to come out early 2019.
Really? But,
Yeah.
Why?
There's way too much competition. You have Red Dead 2, the new Black Ops. You have Anthem that's supposed to come out and be a very strong game. I don't think it's coming out late in the year, but or is it coming out later in the year?
Anthem is coming out. Has been pushed to 2019.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, we have Tomb Raider,
I just think that
Red Dead, and Call of Duty for sure. Possibly Halo, Forza, of course, which is amazing. God, every time. Okay, I'm sorry, Victor. I'm really sorry. Do you want to start the podcast over again?
Huh? Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
God.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't envision a Battlefield coming out this year when it's already kind of stacked. But I mean, maybe it could come out this year. I don't know. It's been such a long time since we've had a good Battlefield, I guess.
Well, a lot of people like Battlefield 1.
Yeah,
Me and you didn't. A lot of diehard fans didn't because it changed it so much. Yeah. But a lot of people did. You know what I think will happen? I think that it'll come out in December. I think that it'll come out early December so that they can capitalize on the Christmas sale still. and it'll be long enough to where like Red Dead comes out late October, Call of Duty comes out mid-October, right? And then Tomb Raider comes out September, so gamers will be wanting something new, a month later, right, or more, depending on what their preference is.
Yeah, that's a good time frame too. It's very possible.
Yeah, that's what I think we'll do. I think they'll push it into December, early December to late November.
Yeah. And Battlefield has always been, I think, in my mind, historically, not like they don't have a big lead time of from announcement to release, because there's. I mean, even though Battlefield is amazing, everybody looks forward to it. It's not the kind of game that builds that massive hype, right? Everybody's excited for it and probably can't wait to get their hands on it, but there's not this hype on it. So,
I would agree with that.
From the announcement to release, it's very short. So they very well could release it. Announce it at this E3 officially.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to announce it this E3 and then release it later that year.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. So Battlefield doesn't need a long time to get people interested, and I think if it releases in December, it will sell well, and people will look forward to buying it. I know I'm going to buy it for day one, and I'll lean to buying the DLC, but who knows?
Yeah. So in other game news, so obviously Sea of Thieves, A Way Out, and Far Cry 5 are all coming out very soon. Mm-hmm. But specifically Sea of Thieves, have you heard about the golden bananas?
No.
So in Sea of Thieves, you use bananas to restore health. You eat bananas, right?
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're releasing 18 karat gold real bananas into the world, and they're making a global digital treasure hunt. So like a real, like kind of like Pokemon Go, right? Like a real life treasure hunt that you hunt for these 18 karat gold bananas.
Geocaching.
Dude, you know how much each banana is worth?
Oh, 18 karat. Well, how big is the banana, first of all?
I think it's like real size.
Oh, like a real size. Holy crap, that's like a gold brick, dude. That's probably like $100,000.
No, they're about $30,000 each.
Oh, well.
30, dude.
Holy
That's
crap.
a car. 30 grand each for these fucking bananas.
Damn. And people will get a chance to win them by discovering them, hunting for them.
Exactly. How crazy is that?
Is there gold bananas? Oh, so you said there's gold bananas in the game that recover health.
There's regular bananas.
Regular bananas.
Yeah, and then they're doing real gold bananas. There's fucking bananas, man.
Oh my god. So when is this supposed to start, or when does the scavenger hunt begin?
That's the one part I forgot to write down.
Oh my god, Roman. You have such good stories, but the details. Where's the details?
Check back soon. Check back soon, everybody.
Check back next week in our next episode of PAXP for the follow-up.
Check back next year. We'll let you know. But that's not all for Sea of Thieves. This is a game that's really taking doing a fan service to heart. So obviously this is gold bananas, but beyond that, if you are to buy an Xbox One X between March 18th and March 24th, you will get Sea of Thieves for free.
Oh wow.
A brand new freaking game for buying a console. When does that happen?
Hardly ever.
Never, right? Like the last time I remember like a real brand new game coming out with a console was, I can't think of one actually. I mean, this is like Wii Sports, but that's not like a real game. Like this is like a real legitimate game coming out with the console.
The last time I can think of a game that came with a console was the NES with Mario.
It's freaking crazy, right? Like, and
there's got to be others though, right? Did a game come with the Super NES?
I wish I knew.
So,
I don't remember. At least like as far as new games, like game companies never do that. They just don't. Mm-hmm. And here it is. So if you buy an Xbox One X, you get Sea of Thieves for free between March 18th and March 24th. So go buy your Xbox One X's, upgrade, ditch the PlayStation. Anyway.
Or you can pay the $10 for a month to play Sea of Thieves and then be done with it.
There you go. In other news, E3 2018, Microsoft has announced that their show will start June 12th, and it'll be their biggest E3 ever. In their words, their biggest E3 ever.
Wait. Microsoft is going to have their own show, but based on E3?
It's kind of crazy. They're doing two shows at once, basically. They have like a separate show on their own and an E3 show at the same time.
But Oh, so like the same weekend.
Yeah, and so what is expected is they're probably going to come out with a bunch of new exclusives, right?
Yeah.
They'll showcase all those. They'll in their own show. They'll probably focus a lot on Mixer, right? Because they purchased that for a huge amount of money. They've been trying to not force. They've been trying to not coerce. What's the
They're
word?
trying to force gamers to switch over.
They're trying to have Mixer shoved down the throat of gamers. It's been working pretty well so far. But anyway, yeah. So and Mixer is great. Like, to be perfectly honest, Mixer is a very good platform for streaming games, and it's built into Windows. It's built into Xbox. There's no reason not to use it, except for the lack of support, and that's what they're trying to focus on now. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so Xbox is gonna have that big show, and the last thing I want to touch on was the 2 video game based movies that had just come out or just on the verge of coming out. Tomb Raider and Ready Player One.
Yeah. I've actually just caught a little bit of news of the Tomb Raider. Well, review news, right, of the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem to fare well.
Yeah. So Tomb Raider, IGN gave it a 5.5, which is
out of 10.
Yeah. So that's like a
50
mediocre, right? It sucks.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it I think the same. They gave it like a 50%.
Yeah, it's not doing too well.
Which I suspected when I first saw the trailer.
I had such high hopes for this movie. Oh, yeah.
Like I told you when I told you I saw the first trailer and I said, it doesn't look that good, and you're like, dude, watch the second one.
Yeah, the second trailer looks
and I
so
watched
good,
the second
right?
one, and it did really look like really interesting. Like, I still was kind of like mixed feelings about the character they chose, the actress.
Yeah, because of her giant forehead, right?
Yeah.
That thing is massive. It takes up half the screen every time you look at her.
Oh my god. Anyway, I just I mean, it looked good, but I still had my reservations about it. And I mean, it's not getting good reviews. A lot of people are really calling it a stinker. And at the best, it's mediocre.
So, to be perfectly honest with all the listeners, I am gonna watch it because minus the big forehead, I actually do like the actress. I love the Tomb Raider franchise, and I can't wait to see what they do post Angelina Jolie's horrible movies. They've basically, in a nutshell, if you want a really quick review, here's a sum up. It's a great action movie that is all about being a daddy finder.
A daddy? Oh.
Yeah, like she's trying to find her dad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. That's the movie. Great action, daddy finder.
They say it has a lot of reference to the reboot.
Yeah,
original reboot.
There's some scenes that are right out of the game. It looks incredible. That's why I can't wait to see it.
Do they go to the same place?
Yep.
Tiamat, or what? How is it called?
Whatever the hell that fictional island is called. They go to that because she's searching for her father. Blah blah blah, and a lot of the same things happen. Like she climbs a plane, right? But I can't wait to see it. I am actually really excited to see this. And the other movie I really want to see is Ready Player One. It's by Steven Spielberg, which is awesome, right? IGN gave it a 7.5. It's one of those games one of those movies that doesn't try to hide behind anything cerebral, right? It's just a straight up movie, and that's how they advertise it. It's a video game movie, and it's supposed to be just fun, and that's all they want out of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I probably will watch it not in theater, but it'll probably be a good video game movie, I guess. I don't expect too much.
Yeah, I agree. And you shouldn't expect much from either one of these. Tomb Raider is not the greatest movie. Ready Player One is rated better, but it's because it doesn't take itself very serious, and there's a lot of fan service. They have the Spartan suits in there. They have the DeLorean. They have all kinds of things from your past, right? Like if you're like in your 30s, like we are, you probably want to see it just for the fan service. It pays to the things you hold sacred.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that said, the real meat and bones that we want to talk about here is each console generation and what it's known for, right? We know that looking back, the past console generation, 360 and PS2 era, really could be summarized in two words: open world, right? Where where it wasn't the first time that developers really explored open world as we know it today, but it was the first time that they did it in such a magnificent way where everything felt real, everything felt legitimate, and there was a real purpose to what you were doing. The generation before that, the Xbox original and PS2 era, could be seen as the multiplayer era, right? Where gamers hopped online and connected with one another. The era before that is maybe the 3D era, right? Where you could actually explore real 3D worlds with Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. The time before that maybe was the story era and so forth. But what is this new generation, this current generation that we're in, the Xbox One and PS4, what do you think, Victor, this generation will be remembered for?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of, and I can't say one is stronger than the other, but I think this generation is trying to bring a variety together, which is co-op, online, and storytelling, with a mixture of open world. Now, open world has been growing. Open world games have been coming forth exponentially. So I can't say that open world market of games is any more dominant than it was last year. I think it's just had its steady growth because more developers are leaning towards open world or some kind of sandbox style game. So I would have to say that the online component and the co-op component have really been trying to make a mark in this generation, especially with the advancements of internet technology and connectivity within the consoles themselves and the features that they offer, the chats, the camera systems, the streaming that you can stream directly from these consoles. So it's like just a connection of all the gamers coming together. That might be kind of a grand explanation of it, but in simple terms, the co-op and online would probably be how I envision this most recent gaming generation, or this gen of consoles.
The always on mentality.
Yeah, like kind of like that, always connected to your fellow gamer with that curtain of co-op and online.
Okay, so I would summarize it in one word, and that word is gas.
Gas?
GAAS. Games as a service. Now you look at some of the best games that have come out on this generation, like Grand Theft Auto 5, Destiny. To be fair, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in the last generation, right? But it didn't really hit its full potential until this generation, until its re-release. But Grand Theft Auto 5, Destiny, Division, Halo 5. What are all these games, and Call of Duty World War II, what do these games have in common? They all offer a prolonged service that wasn't there before, right? Where they are constantly evolving, they're moving forward, and they're expanding as their user base actually grows past release. Like traditionally, a game would sell a ridiculous amount of copies in the first week of release, and then after that there'd be this huge drop, and then a slightly drop, and then it's just staggered itself out, right? And now with these games, we've actually seen this huge uptake in the first week of release, then a drop, and then a gradual increase in a player base. And I bet the same thing would happen with Sea of Thieves, and I bet you the same thing is happening with Gran Turismo Sport.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. And I think kind of what it's coming from is this new take on games, where games aren't this one-time release. It's more of a service, right? Where you continually iterate on them and you build on them and you mesh them into almost like new entities, right? Where they're so far expanded that they almost can't even be recognized from their initial release.
But do you think that's like that's enough to define it as this spear of this generation? I guess to put it in.
Absolutely. I think that more than anything else, that games as a service has taken on this. And you could see that just from the debates we're having. We're not having debates about which console is best anymore. We're not having debates about which open world is best. We're not having debates about which multiplayer is best or which online component is best. We're having debates about whether microtransactions are a good thing for games.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Of course I am. Duh. Anyway, I thought this would be a good time to kind of go over the history of this, right? Of games as a service and how it came to be to what it is now. And so, games as a service, as we travel back in time, it's not so much a recent discovery, right? It's not something that just started with this generation or even the past generation or the generation even past that. It's something that started way, way back in the era of the arcades. And if you think about it for 1 second, close your eyes and picture yourself. No, just kidding. But
on a beach with a margarita in my hand.
Yeah, and an arcade in front of you, and your wife yelling, "Why are you playing those video games?" But no, but really, they started back in the arcade area where those were the original games as a service, right? You don't buy an arcade. You pay a quarter to play it. It's a service you pay for every time you want to play. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it started, right? And that revenue model worked really, really well until the home console came out, and it killed everything. And all of a sudden, these arcade guys were like, "Dude, what the hell is going on? Why aren't we getting any money?" So they went out of business, or they made home consoles or home video games, and this home console kind of took over, right? But the home console was, you pay once, you get the game, and that's it. It's kind of like buying a book or a movie. You don't get anything beyond that, which was great for gamers because gamers loved the games. It worked really well for console manufacturers, and it worked really well for game developers because games didn't cost very much or take very long to make back then. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until MMOs on the PC that it started to take form again, where you have to pay a subscription to play these things, right? Because they cost money to uphold. And so gamers would pay like $15 a month or $10 a month or whatever, and they were able to play these games online. And that worked pretty good. And nothing really evolved with these until the Xbox 360. And it came out with this little term called, that's so well known now. And this little term was microtransactions. Thank you, Microsoft.
Thank you, Microsoft, for ripping all of us off.
So their idea was this: if they could come out with small portions of a game that you could download, you could not only expand the amount of money that a publisher or developer could make, but also give gamers more of the games that they love. It was a win-win. It was perfect, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, here's what went wrong. Mobile came along, where mobile would give you free games on the iOS or Droid or whatever, or your iPad, whatever, right? And then they would have all these fees in the background for all these different parts that you could buy of a game. Like the little pink cupcake that you wanted was $5. And people became like, it worked well for many people, right? Because most people didn't go crazy, but kids, they didn't know what the hell they were doing, so they would just buy infinite cupcakes for $5 and they would charge their parents $10,000 in credit card fees.
Damn. That's crazy.
Nobody liked that. But then the real kick in the balls came was when other game companies saw this, the publishers, they saw this and they're like, wow, so people are willing to buy fake things for real money. How can we use this in a fully priced $60 game? Mass Effect figured it out really well. With Mass Effect 3, there was that always on setting, and they wanted to create this atmosphere where the player was always rewarded. The thing is, they didn't have to be always rewarded with gameplay or skill. They could always be rewarded with money. So why not charge the players money to buy something and reward them in return? And then came Overwatch, which took loot boxes to a whole new level and generated $1 billion in less than a year.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, and so obviously this is something that's not going to go anytime soon, and it's because we know that games that have microtransactions, that have these loot boxes, that have DLC, that have some kind of content that you can pay real money for, players play them twice as long. That's a fact. Players give them twice as much money. And players pursue twice as many games.
Wow.
How crazy is that? Like, there's no reason why you would move away from this model. And it's easy to see why. Because in the end of the day, even though we're all complaining about this, we still love it because we get free games. Right? The mobile market didn't become evil overnight because they wanted to become evil. They didn't become evil at all. It should be clarify that to begin with. The mobile market saw that the cheaper you can make your product at the initial point of download, the more people would download it. And then those people, there were the quote unquote whales that would subsidize everybody else by buying every possible thing in the game or in the app to make their dream of ownership a reality, and everybody else would get this content for free. So here's what I was left thinking is, we know that as we stand now, loot boxes are coming under scrutiny, right? We talked about this before, where there's the lawsuits, right, and the scrutiny of government and institutions coming down on these people, looking really hard at what's going on, and they're calling it gambling.
Yeah.
And like me and you, we talked about, we agreed, like, it is gambling, right? Maybe it doesn't fit the perfect definition, but it is gambling.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't match what we think as gambling, because we think of gambling as, playing cards, Russian roulette, that kind of stuff. But this is gambling for sure. Yeah,
we think of gambling as win or lose, right? And this is win or win what you want. It's a win-win, but in some cases, what you win is not necessarily a good thing.
But they've had this for a long time. Like, in physical terms, have you ever been, when you were young, you ever buy a pack of comic cards or any kind of cards?
Like Pokemon.
Trading cards, right? You always look forward. What's the card that you look forward to when you buy one of those?
Blastoids.
What's a Blastoid?
Dude, have you never played Pokemon?
No. My brother had collected the cards. I was too old for that.
Oh my god. Okay, so well, even in the video game, in the video game, the Pokemon video game, or the TV show, or whatever, Blastoids is he's like this really big turtle.
Oh, I'm not talking about. No, yeah, okay.
He's got cannons coming out of his back. He gets all the ladies,
Yeah, I'm not talking about like when you open this pack, you're not looking for a specific like character or anything, but each one of these packs has something.
Okay.
You still don't get it?
What the fuck?
Okay, well anyway, when you buy comic cards, when you buy Pokemon cards, you always get a holographic card or something that's ultra rare, and you always look forward to that. And so it's kind of like that same sense. You buy, and those packs were like what? I mean, $2.99, $3.99.
Yeah, whatever. A few bucks.
How much is a microtransaction for this digital content? Exactly. So it's always been there. It's just a different form, and it's easier to access because it's in our home. We can look at these at any time. I mean, how many times have you gone through the store when you were little and you're just like, Mom, I want this toy, just because you saw it? Well, guess what? That toy aisle is in digital form, and it's in your living room. That's all it is.
Dude,
but yeah, it's totally gambling, and it sucks. And we really can't do nothing about it. I mean, we can to an extent.
I mean, it doesn't suck that much, right? Because there are some benefits where a player with, say we're adults, right? And we both have jobs and we both make money and we're both well off. But if, let's say that we're playing Call of Duty and you started 6 months before me and I'm just hopping in now, you have all these cool guns that you unlocked by playing. I want to catch up to you and I want to be able to be on your level. I could buy these packs.
Get on my level, bro.
Exactly. Be on your level, right?
Yeah, you
Thumbs
can buy
up out of the hot
packs.
lava. But the thing is, like, here's the tricky part is that even if I want to catch up and buy these packs, I could buy a bunch of these packs, but I might not get the guns I want. That's the problem. Is you're buying things that you don't actually know what you're getting out of them. Mm-hmm. So I started thinking about how we can improve this DLC, microtransaction, whatever era, right? Mm-hmm. How can we bring in revenue to these, and I know we talked about this before. I know we did, but I have some. I've been thinking about this long and hard, if you know what I mean.
our favorite quote.
That's what she said. So here's what I'm thinking. Instead of the traditional loot boxes, where you buy a loot box, you have no idea what's inside of it. You just know it's a loot box, right? And you pay money for it. What if a loot box was set up this way? What if, say, you could see what's in that loot box? So let's say you go into Call of Duty, right? Mm-hmm. And you have an option to buy, like this is your first time buying a loot box, right? And you have 3 options. You could buy, let's say, clothing. You could buy like an outfit, right? You could buy equipment like grenades and mines or anti-scanners, whatever, right? And you could buy weapons. You have just three options. And each of these 3 show you exactly what you get. They have 3 items each. And they cost $3 or they're in-game points if you play enough.
Wait, $3 each or $3 altogether?
$3 for each each of these loot boxes, but you see exactly what you get into it. There's 3 items in each one.
Okay.
Right, so there's 3 guns, 3 pieces of clothing, or 3 pieces of equipment, right? Or you could spend either $3 in real money, or you could spend like 3,000 gamer points. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, you get 1 bonus item that's a mystery item. This item is not something you're paying for, because you're paying $3 for 3 items, $1 per each item. It's just an extra item that's a bonus item.
Oh, I see.
So you get exactly what you want, because you can see what you want.
Yeah.
But then there's also that gambling sensation without it being really gambling, because you're paying for what you want. But there's still that mystery item that could be like a legendary item that you could get, the holographic card.
Yeah.
That could be in that one mystery item.
It's like a bonus. It's like a bonus.
Exactly.
Do you think it should be applied with every purchase? Or, I mean, like every purchase of a loot box, you should get a bonus, or do you think you should randomly get a bonus?
Well, I think it should be with every loot box you get a bonus, right? But for every loot box, you actually see what you get. You see ahead of time if this is what you want to buy. But that's not all. But let's say there's these walls, like loot box walls. So the first time you go into, there's 3 options: 1 weapon, 1 equipment, 1 clothing, right? The next wall is you get 2 of each. So you get to choose, like, you want, like, for weapons, you get 1 loot box weapons or 3 weapons each, or you get the next weapon box of loot boxes of weapons each, right? And each weapons loot box could have like 3 weapons for 3 different categories. So you have like a assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and a shotgun, or a pistol, or whatever, right? That way you get at least 1 gun of what you want, plus maybe some other guns that you don't, but maybe you'll use them later. Maybe you'll learn to like them, right? Same thing for clothing, same thing for equipment.
They would have to add a lot of content to
and they already
supply.
Have that. I mean, they have a ton of like, you look at Destiny, they have like kind of like the same kind of guns, like similar guns, but different versions of them.
That's what I don't like about Destiny. All their guns look the same. They just name them something different, like White Tiger or Uncle
Baby's
Sam
bottom,
Cracker,
whatever, right? Yeah.
Baby's Bottom, Shark Tattoo. It's like weird names, but they all look similar. They might be a different color. Yeah.
They have a different color, different attributes, right? But that's what I'm saying is that you get all these different options. But the main point I'm driving here is that in these loot boxes, you see what you want, you get 1 bonus item. So you buy actually what you want to buy. Then there's that added on gambling feeling, right? But you can't call it gambling because that's just an extra. Right,
they're not paying
you
for
purchase.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not.
You're purchasing what you actually want, and then above that, once you buy it in that tier, the next tier you get more options within that atmosphere of weapons, right? And then more options and more options. So you can actually pick and choose what you want, and you still get bonuses every time.
So you're like in a digital marketplace, and you're getting rewarded with bonuses every so often, or with certain type of rare items, and which would make you continue to shop, but you're not shopping to gamble. You're just shopping to. It's like a loyalty bonus. Like when you go to the grocery store, you know they have you punch in your customer number to lower the price of the groceries, or you can use all those points to like take 50 cents off your next gas fill up per gallon or something. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and so like again, this is merchandising 101, right? And I know game companies haven't really caught up because they have. I know they have all these people in different positions of in-game stores that track different stats, to track all this data, and they have people that are building the actual storefronts inside the games, and they're doing it based on A to B testing and all these different things, but they don't have traditional merchants. And I think that's what they need to get. They need to get like bringing actual merchants that can help them figure out how do we take our model of making $2 billion a year as an industry off microtransactions and transform it into 4 and then 6 and then 8 and then infinity.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing I was thinking about was if you go beyond these loot boxes and you want to just like totally expand your horizon on what a player can buy and purchase and equip themselves with.
Mm-hmm.
What if we, like, let's say a game like Call of Duty, what if we introduced durable equipment?
What do you mean? What's durable equipment?
Dude, I was hoping you'd ask. Are you
What is that?
Are you sitting down for this? Because shit's about to get real.
Hold on. Okay, I'm sitting down.
So check this out. So imagine like you're playing. Like imagine first of all, Call of Duty is free.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is download it, and it's a brand new Call of Duty that's free to you.
Uh-huh.
And so you play the campaign or whatever, let's say, or maybe it's split up into different portions where just the multiplayer portion is free, right? So you hop into the multiplayer, you start playing it, and you have, right as you begin to equip your soldier, you have, let's say, 2 types of assault rifles to choose from, 2 types of outfits, and 2 types of grenades or equipment, right? So you don't have much to choose from, but that's all it is. But that's usually how it starts anyway. And then you realize that everything you have has a durability meter that goes from -10 to 0 to +100. And when you first got your gear, it's +100. Like it's perfectly brand new. And then you have all this other gear and weapons and equipment on the side that either cost real money or in-game points for playing. And it all has a durability point too. So for instance, you go in and you play some matches, you buy a new assault rifle or a sniper rifle or whatever.
Wait, you buy a new one or you go in with the one that is given to you by
let's say after you play some matches, you buy a new one, right?
Okay.
Because the base ones won't be affected by this. But you go in and you buy a new one, and it's +100 durability because it's really cool ACR. It has it's not necessarily better than the other guns that you have, the base ones to start with, but it has different features to where it focuses on, say, like fire rate, or focuses on less fire rate but stronger hits per bullet or better accuracy. It has a focus, right? But with these new guns that you purchased either for real money or for game points, the durability starts to die down over time. And as the durability reaches 0 and then into the minuses, the gun doesn't just disappear or stop working. It starts to jam more and more often. And it forces the player to want to get a new gun. Either go back to the original gun that was like the kind of the catch-all gun, the very basic, like it's a very in the middle kind of gun. Or you have to either use your points or spend real money to buy a better gun that has a durability to it. And the same thing can be applied for clothing, where your character's clothing will degrade over time. So as you get shot, these bullet points are recorded and your clothing gets torn up. So you want to buy new clothing, right? And same thing can be applied to equipment. Once you use up equipment, you'll want to buy more. It all has a durability level to it. So this creates, one, like a fair playing environment where you could use points if you're good. On the other hand, you could buy this equipment, right, and you have a durability to it. Right?
That's pretty cool. That's like a cool element they can add to an RPG game.
Yeah, exactly. Swords, right? Shields, armor.
And I know some games have that, like after you use it breaks or something. But like if it's more like in depth, like if it had a more realistic degrading level, I think it could really work And it's actually a really cool concept, I think.
And here's the final part. I think that really like the cherry on top. What if, let's say, like as you level up, you unlock new guns, like these new cool durability guns. But let's say you don't necessarily want to use them. What do you do with them? What if they had an auction like Forza has? And I know I hate to bring up Forza again. I'm sorry, Victor. Just bear with me. Forza currently has an auction for vehicles where you sell your digital vehicles for digital currency. But in this concept,
who are you selling them to? Just other gamers?
Other gamers that want to play Forza, you get them in.
And why can't they get these cars that you are selling?
Because at the auction, you can usually get them for cheaper from other players.
Oh. Okay.
So what if in this game there's an in-player auction where you could buy these other weapons, equipment, and clothing that other players don't want for cheaper, either for real money or for gamer points?
Oh, looks. So like, say they've unlocked an outfit that they don't want, or that they already have, and it's brand new, 100+ durability, and they want to sell it for like 50 points digital or whatever.
Exactly. So let's say that you really want this really cool deagle, right? This pistol is all you want, but this thing costs 5,000 points. What you do is, let's say you unlock a new outfit that you think it's pretty cool, but you don't necessarily want it as much as you want the deagle. You put it in the auction, and then you could get those points from that deagle and use it to buy from the outfit and buy that Desert Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates an in-game market from player to player.
Oh, I see. Yeah, a light bulb just went off. That's crazy. Yeah,
wouldn't that be awesome?
Don't they do that with what's that online game? It's kind of old.
Is it called Forza?
No. No, it's a shooter game, and people always trade skins and buy skins for it, for their weapons. You know what game I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
It's an older game, and it's still very popular, but maybe it'll come to mind.
Oh, maybe you're thinking of Team Fortress?
Yep. No, Team Fortress, no.
Because I know as a developer, you can make skins and stuff for it, and people will buy it, but you can't really trade them in game as a player.
It's a game that they play. That's in esports right now, heavily in esports.
League of Legends, Dota.
No.
Halo, Call of Duty.
It's a first-person shooter.
Your mom?
My mom's dead, dude.
What? Oh my god, you dick! You dick! Why would you even say that? Oh, Victor.
You insulted my mother, so I had to insult her back.
Horrible. God, way to go.
Anyway.
Okay, anyway. But yeah,
Love you, Mom.
I think those are pretty good concepts, right? I think as far both of those have merit to them, right? Where one is a loot box that's transparent to gamers, where you as a gamer will actually see what you buy. It's not like a big question mark on some fucking crate.
Yeah.
Like you actually get to see what you want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a bonus item.
You get rewarded for buying.
Yeah, exactly. And the other one is a durability system where it gives you a free game, and then you could use the base items forever, or you could use your points or real money to upgrade beyond that. And we know that that's a system that works, and it's a system that would work really well in these, especially if there's an auction house and that's between gamers that can support that.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Hello.
Man, we have such great ideas.
Yeah. Hello, Activision. Could you please call us?
I'm so glad I mentioned this.
Oh my god. Anyway, just for the record, this is all Victor said. Yeah, I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I produced the show notes, and I just let Roman take charge.
You know what's funny? Like, you know when I come up with these ideas,
Uh-huh.
I just fucking run. That's all I do. I go for a run, and that's what I think of.
Huh.
That's it. Like a 15-minute run, and I come up with everything.
Nice.
Dude, I should be like a genius runner.
Genius runner. Like you're solving problems on a treadmill. Hold on, let me get some speed here. It'll come to me.
Dude, and it doesn't work on a treadmill. You have to run outside. You have to see the trees,
does it have to be
the
outside?
birds, and all that crap.
Yeah.
And if people are getting in your way, and you just want to punch them.
Well, I was just saying a treadmill because reporters can like watch you as you think of these thoughts.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. Yeah. Document. Anyway, all right, guys. I think that brings our episode to a close, right?
Yeah, fantastic episode.
All right. Would you like to close this off, Victor?
Oh, before we close it off, there is one thing that as you were speaking, it reminded me of news that for Microsoft, they're looking forward to developing a Netflix-style gaming platform that will allow gamers to stream games from a variety of platforms, such as Netflix. You can watch it on tablet, phone, console, smart TV, whatever, right? Microsoft wants to develop something very similar to that. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was surprised that wasn't in your news because
That's crazy.
yeah, I figured you would have looked it up. So I think it's just kind of been coming out, so maybe more will come out about it. But yeah, maybe we can look into it and then talk about it more next episode.
Wait. So Microsoft wants to come out with the same service as Netflix and Amazon?
A similar service to Netflix that will allow gamers to stream games from a variety of platforms, not just Xbox.
Wait,
I was like,
no, they already do that.
No, not their
On
Game Pass.
Mixer, you could stream games.
No, not stream.
From your iPhone.
To play.
Oh.
To play. Like you play movies, you play games. Yeah, cloud-based video game playing, streaming. Not.
Dude, we talked
video
about this. Do you remember? We talked about as far as predictions into the future, and one of the episodes before, we talked about exactly this.
Yeah,
exactly.
We talked about how consoles would probably go into like a USB size. You'd plug them back to the TV, and they'd probably stream. So,
Dude, my mind is blown. We are so fucking smart.
Dude, we predicted so much. But the
Everything.
episode previous to Super Smash Brothers, the new Super Smash Brothers, I said how much I wanted a new Super Smash Brothers, and then the following week it was announced. So, I mean, come on, man. We're just.
How do we not work for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft? How?
I know. We'd be making them stocks rise, baby.
No kidding. Damn. Okay.
Anyway, without further ado, we bid you goodbye.
Wait. Before we bid you goodbye, please like this video or audio, and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us anywhere. Just follow us in real life. If you see me, just happen to follow.
You can connect with Roman too, maybe on LinkedIn, Roman Tolstik. So check him out there.
I'm a big LinkedIn inter.
LinkedIn,
that. I'm a big one of those. Follow us anywhere you can. Give us a like. Tell us your thoughts. If you have an idea for a show, feel free to just let us know. I would love to do the research into it, because obviously Victor can't be bothered. He's a big man. So, just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No. Victor does a good job, especially on the last episode. But anyway, with that said, if you have any questions, email us on PAXPgamers@outlook.com.